Just talk about some things like the attributes. What's some of the skills that you bring to the rap game?
Well, I'm coming in as an engineer, as a producer, as an artist. I actually own my own label, Collection Records. And I'm bringing in a unique sound that I feel like the rap game's really been missing and lacking. And I'm bringing something that nobody's really done before because, the rap game's been so based around the streets, and I'm trying to base it around more real life struggles because, this whole pandemic has really set us into a different wave of living and lifestyles because so much stuff has been taken away from us as Americans. But, I feel like I can really restore hope to a lot of people through my music and through my productions that I'm giving to other artists because I'm bringing something unique that nobody else has, you know what I mean?
We upstairs, on the 3rd floor out here, the nice spot. Like, this where you like to produce? Like, this where you get your vibe? Like, you know what I'm saying? How this go?
Man, I'm from Washington, D.C., but see, I'm down here in Florida and I really like the heat, so it's been cold. It's been a cold year this year, but I know it's about to be a hot summer. Number one, because we're in Florida. Number two, because we're definitely going to be dropping heat all summer, for sure.
Hell yeah. So what's the coming to some of like program software? Like what you use as far as producing?
I like to use Ableton. It's usually mainly used for composing. I know it came from Pro Tools. I like to use Pro Tools for certain things, but I usually do most of my mixing and mastering on Ableton because that's what I'm more familiar with. And I feel like I can get the best sound quality out of that with my own personal knowledge.
Word. You got like a website where cats can find your beats and all that stuff?
Yeah, you can find me on BeatStars, produced by Yacob. I just opened up a store on BeatStars actually where I'm starting to sell my beats. I really wasn't selling them, but I decided to monetize what I was doing so I could make money off my beats instead of just handing them out. And I felt like they had worth to them now, so I started selling them.
Yeah, word. Like as far as a producer, like who are some of your influences?
Actually, I wouldn't be able to answer that question because my biggest influence is myself because I feel like I don't want to take sound from anybody else. I want to have my own unique sound. If I'm looking at other producers and I'm looking into what they're doing, I'm trying to develop my own unique way because there's a million ways you can produce the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you started producing beats?
In 2017. 2017. It all started with dance music, but I ended up in hip hop because I grew up in the streets and I decided my heart and my soul really felt like hip hop was where I belong. So that's where I ended up at.
Okay, nice. I know we was talking about like the producer influences, but you know what I'm saying, you're an artist as well. I done shot a music video for you. Like, who's some of your rap influences?
My favorite rapper is Yacob. So,
word.
And the crazy thing is, me and my big homie who really kind of, got me into the industry, Trill Will, he's actually got us with CMG right now. So I know he's got some big stuff planned, and hopefully I'll be doing some work with CMG here pretty soon down in Miami.
Oh, word, big talk.
Yeah.
What songs have you made, as far as with Trill Will or anybody else?
Me and Trill got the song Grind together that we did in the music video. I done a song with him and Young LA. I done a few songs for him that I can't really talk about yet with some real big artists, you know what I mean? Shout out to a lot of Atlanta rappers. You'll see them coming out soon.
Word. So yeah, man, just kicking it with Yacob, man. You know what I'm saying? We done went off in the patio with it. All right, tell me like, you know what I'm saying, what's like some of the goals right now in the game right now, you know what I'm saying, for your freshman year as far as, I know you just dropped the tape, right?
Yeah, I just dropped the Youngest OG mixtape. Y'all can find that on Spinrilla, my mixtapes, and I got another one on there called Mogul. That was my first mixtape. They came out within like 6 months of each other. They both got 19 tracks. And definitely some heat, definitely some heat.
Word. But so like, what's the current goal right now? You know what I'm saying? This first year, like, you know what I'm saying? You got like a target order, like, you know what I'm saying? I want 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. I want 1,000, 100,000 views. Like, what's your current goal for right now, this first quarter?
Definitely trying to run up the music video I just dropped that you shot. Definitely has a lot of potential. It kind of shows like the real of what's really going on, rather than it being like sold out. I be in a mansion I don't own and all that stuff. It really shows like where I be, like in the trenches, in the trap, and all that stuff. And this music stuff's really breaking me away from all that. And my real goal is to really break out of the streets and into the music industry this first year, so that way I can separate myself from other artists who are still in the streets and struggling and having to worry about those things and those trials that come along being in the streets, because that stuff really holds you back from achieving your true musical potential. And that's something I realized in the past couple of years, really trying to get into the industry. Is like, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So therefore, I'm trying to just put everything all into the music and find a way to monetize that, rather than having to still be in the streets jumping back and forth and trying to kind of maneuver where I shouldn't be at, you know what I mean?
What's the hardest thing, you know what I'm saying, as far as obstacles or objectives right now in the hip hop world right now, like you face right now? Like, what's the hardest objective right now?
Really? it's just me being who I am. Like,
Right.
you know, people don't like to see, or something they don't like to see, is that they're not used to seeing a white rapper, you know, who's really doing his thing
Word.
and really out there expressing himself, but without trying to be somebody he's not, but
Right.
having a good sound that's relevant and modern still. And
Right.
that comes with the struggle of me trying to defeat a whole crowd of people
Right.
that are going against me. Because
Yeah.
not going against me, but you know, it's what's normal. It's what's
Right.
already in. So it's hard for me to fit
Right.
into what's already in when
Right.
I can't even fit
It's
into
the
the
culture.
scene. Yeah,
Right.
it's a culture. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I'm really grateful because the hip hop culture has been really accepting of me, and I haven't really found any problems with fitting into the culture.
Right.
It's just really now me getting myself out there and exposing myself more and meeting more people. That's really my hardest thing right now. Because where I live, it's not too many rappers. It's not a big music scene.
Yeah.
But I definitely have broken out of those boundaries.
Yeah.
Out into Central Florida, I met Trill Will. You know, he put me in the pocket, and there's a lot of people looking at me right now. Some labels looking at me
Nice.
and everything. But really, I'm just out here focused on myself because at the end of the day, you know, a label and a distribution can only give you so much that you can give yourself. But it's
Word.
2021. You can
Word.
the internet is your label. You know,
Word.
you can put yourself out, distribute yourself. You can make money independently. You really don't need anybody else. So I'm trying to build an independent structure that functions within the hip hop realm because I want that to be a new style, a new look for everybody. So that, oh, if he did it, I can do it.
Right.
And, you know, that way we're not being owned by the labels and being held back by things that really don't need to hold us back. You got a hot song, you can just drop it. You know, like and monetize it right then.
Right.
And I feel like it should be like that. Like the people I'm with now, real life. Shout out to Knox Bond because he's going direct to consumer.
Shout out to Knox Bond, man.
Yeah, he's going direct to consumer rather than, you know, going through having to go through this distribution party and this people and them people just to be able to, you know, put the music on the market. You know, he's really developing something new in the infrastructure, and I really respect that.
G shit. So yeah, man, just double backing on, you know what I'm saying, artists like such as yourself wanting to be yourself. Do you feel like artists selling themselves short or they selling out? Like how people say they selling their soul by being something else other than what they is? You know what I'm saying? Or is it like, you know, sometimes people just gotta jump out until they get their feet wet, then they can be who they, you know what I'm saying?
I think that it's a lot of semi-plagiarism
Yeah.
because of but with sound, if that makes sense. Like,
Nice. Yeah, I like
it's
that.
a lot of people trying to sound like the next person, which and there's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing
you know,
wrong with
you
it.
like that's your influence. That's what
Right.
you want to be like. Be whoever you want to be. But I believe in expressing your creativity independently and uniquely because in the end of the day, that's really what's gonna separate the followers from the trendsetters.
Yeah,
and
real
you know,
G shit.
really, we need trendsetters
Yeah.
in this industry right now.
We already
because
got
it's
Cheerios
so much
and Frosted
common
Flakes.
ground. Like I feel like you could find yourself making a song that somebody can walk up to and be like, "Oh, you sound like what's his name?
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
His name sound like what's his name?
Yeah,
Oh, they
yeah,
see me, they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, that's Yacob."
Yeah.
That's Yacob on the
As soon
track.
as you get on the track.
He sound like, oh no, he don't. He sound like Yacob. You know what I mean? So, shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do me.
All right, yeah, man. We talked about, you know what I'm saying, musical influences a little bit, but if you could pick, like, you know, two artists right now in the game, you know what I'm saying, you can get two features from, who would those two artists be and why?
Drake.
Drake. He was straight to the charts, right?
Drake. I love Drake, man. Drake's that man.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, you know, he's really the king of marketing, and he really made himself an executive. You know what I mean? Like he came in with a stature, but he
Yeah.
has built his own infrastructure, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Because like Drake, like I said, you hear Drake, you know it's Drake.
Yeah.
I love that individualism. And Yo Gotti, just because I support the movement of what he's doing with CMG and where he came from, and him really promoting the fact of, you know, being a hustler, and it doesn't have to be an illegal hustle. It can be a legal hustle, but you can still apply those same principles that you learn from the streets and the same disciplines, but also apply it into the rap game and make it and monetize it.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, so after Drake, who else would you put off in there?
Probably Lil Baby.
Ooh, okay. Why Lil Baby?
Man, he just got so much juice, man. He's the same age as me, so you know, I see him, I'm like, dang.
The sauce
I'm like, dang, he juiced up.
Yeah.
He made that song with Drake. That what is that? Wants and Needs, and they made that little video where Drake trying to shut him down. He's like, he going crazy in the studio. That's what I think of every time I think of Lil Baby. He taking over. He don't care. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing, bro. I got to shout out to Lil Baby, man. He's got it going on for sure. Especially being my age, man. I'm just like, dang, he's 25 and he's doing the same. Like he's doing the same thing like Drake damn near doing, but he's 25 years old and he's, you know, he's from Atlanta. He's from the South. I know he's from the struggle and I know he can relate to a lot of shit that a lot of people that I grew up around and where I grew up around can relate.
Definitely.
Speak on somebody who made 10,000 CDs and that's when they made their first 10 bands.
Man, yeah. A lot. I guess we'll start this off, you know what I'm saying, I guess before we end it, you know what I'm saying, just talking, since you was talking about that. I'll put a little jewel out. So there was a artist back in the day, my favorite rapper, you know, Pastor Troy, Master P, Lil Flip, but, you know, Pastor Troy was like, he always had a special part to me. But for some reason, there was an artist named Miracle that he, you know, kind of had a little drama and beef with and whatnot. And me being an artist and engineer and beatmaker at the time, back in, you know, earlier in my earlier Crunk Boy days, I actually got, you know what I'm saying, friend, talked on the phone and, you know, got some nice conversations in with Miracle's manager. How he told me how, you know, he made 500 grand to a meal before the deal with Miracle, before they went Universal. Just hearing you kind of talk about, you know, the grind and putting music out instead of using the electronic and the digital era, you know, kind of share how you was just feeling just now about, you know, putting your music out, you know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I got that. So, actually, you know what, shout out Lil Tyke, because he's the one that, he sparked this idea in me, and y'all will see him coming up real soon. He's a rapper from Tampa. It's one of my homeboys, actually a little younger than me, and he came to me and he was like, yo, bro, he's like, instead of putting his music out online, he's like, fuck that. He's like, let's get 10,000 CDs and burn them and go all up and down the East Coast to every major city and sell them for $1 and make our first 10 bands like that. He's like, forget marketing the music on the internet. He's like, forget all that even exists. He said, we'll get 10 bands, we'll get a whip. Or he said, we'll get 10,000 CDs, we'll get a whip, and we'll slide, and we'll just go to every city and just $1 a CD and hand them out. He's like, how hard do you think that could possibly be? I was like, we might as well get 100,000 CDs. While you playing, we'll drop a band, get 100,000 CDs, and go and hand them all out in the hood because that's really gonna make a difference. Like people can hear you on the radio and be like, oh yeah, and they're blown away. They'll never hear you again. But if you get that CD, and then the people that got the CD have people that hear it, and they're like, oh, I like that.
That's a physical expression too. That's a physical impression. Like you just met them, you gave them the CD. You just left an impression. They're going to go home, take that physical CD with them to the house. You know, you never know. You know, that's real true shit.
They take that CD, they play in front of their friends. Their friends like, oh, I like that. So they take it, they put it on a computer, burn it. They've burned 10 CDs off to one CD. Then where are you really at? Then you're in 10 people's cars. Okay, in them 10 people's cars, you got 4 people riding with them at all times. Now look, now you're spreading.
That's
you're making something
right
happen, really, if you got that physical disc to give to the next person. Like, you might be tired of the CD. So you'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm tired of the CD. Yacob got a new CD out anyway. Here you go. Toss to their homeboy. Then they just put somebody on so you knew. And that's really like, I feel like before the digital age came, that was really the only way to really get your music out. What is that movie called? The Evolution of Hip Hop. They really talk about how you really get out, and you know, people was handing out music, and that's how it all started. Was, you know, there's foot promoters on foot. They out there in the clubs. They out there handing out flyers. They out there handing out CDs. And that's really, if you look back to the people that really made money off music, that's really how they did it. They didn't make money off iTunes sales. You really don't make money off that. What, Lil Wayne made 12% of his album sales at the highest point of his career? That's nothing. That's nothing. But you made money off shows because you went and handed out 10,000 CDs. Now 500 club promoters heard your name and they want you in the club. Now you done made 500 times 5 bands. How much is that? A lot of money. I don't even know the math.
Ball game.
I don't even know the math, but I know you done made some money. Shit. And I'm trying to do this thing like, you know, not take it back in time as in go backwards, but take the tactics they use to really start this stuff and really use it to evolutionize where we're at right now and get to the next step.
Oh, G shit, bro. Oh, G shit.
I mean, that's what's really gonna break the industry, bro. That shit right there.